And go. Hey everyone.
Hey, hey, hey.
Sorry we're a few minutes late. We're having some technical difficulties. Hopefully you can see us and that we're coming through. Our network is not working at its full capacity for some reason, so we're going to have to get with them tomorrow.
I got to adapt to the situation. We'll see how this one goes.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, but you know, it's always something with network. Everyone's on all sorts of networks right now with everyone being at home doing their school, virtual learning.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. We adapt to the situation and we call it a day.
Yep,
so we're all good.
Alrighty.
So let's start off with our go-to. Welcome to After Hours. Thank you so much for joining us and being with us.
Yes.
As always, before we get started, make sure that you click the subscribe button, which is going to be right down there at the bottom right-hand corner. After you click on that subscribe button, make sure you click on the little bell that shows up so you can get notified whenever we post new videos or whenever we get going live with network issues. So there you go.
All righty. So does anybody else hear us? I hear that we have no sound. Ryan, can you check the sound on your phone? So while we're looking to test that out, make sure we don't have mute on. I don't have mute on.
We're there. Yeah. I had to turn my sound up. Yeah, we've got sound. Okay, awesome.
Right.
Make sure you turn your sound up if you aren't able to hear us. Sometimes it might be all the way down. So, I mean, it happens sometimes. I do it all the time on my computer.
Yeah, and the delay and everything happening right now with our network. I mean, it's literally running at 25% capacity with what...
If that,
with what we have. So who knows?
We'll figure it out. But it's fine. It's neither here nor there. We are here to talk about Thread tonight. And I am super excited to talk about Thread. One of our biggest topics that we get over the phone when we do phone calls.
Yeah.
A lot of people want to know, well, what thread do you recommend? What thread should I do for this? What thread should I do for that? X, Y, Z, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
And so we just decided, let's throw it into an after hours video to kind of give you a break from us doing some actual quilting. Let's talk about the things that go into the quilt.
Exactly, exactly. And while we're waiting on a few people to get on, you know, I always like to ask a question. First, I wanted to say thank you to everybody that said happy birthday to me today.
Oh, yes. Totally. Whoa. Hold on. Network done threw me off. Happy birthday, Mom.
Thank you.
She is a whopping 27 today.
I am.
Which means you had me at 2. Calling somebody about that, but it's fine. She looks great for her age, does she not? Yay, go team. So if you can, drop a happy birthday message right down in the comment section for my mother today. Happy birthday, Mom.
Thank you. It's been a great day. I've had a really good time.
Yeah, she came in this morning to a fully decorated office. Yes. I put streamers all over the place. Balloons everywhere, signs everywhere, confetti everywhere. She's going to be cleaning that up for months.
Yeah, everywhere. So it was super fun. Cakes and
lunch, plenty of cakes and lunches. Yeah.
So really quick, we're going to ask our question while we're waiting on people to get on. Just tell us what's your favorite thread that you go to, your favorite go-to. That way we make sure that we talk about the threads that you use and that we carry. So while we're doing that, here's some awesome cookies that Brooke brought us.
Yes.
Remember Brooke? We miss Brooke. So you want to take a bite?
I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, while we're waiting. This is like a peanut butter Reese's.
Oh, great. My favorite.
And then
those are really good.
This one is like a chocolate chip something.
I can only have one. One little bite is all I need.
Oh, look at that though.
No, I'm good. I'll eat it afterwards because like I want to like pig out on it. I don't want y'all to see it.
In your mouth.
It's really, really good.
Okay. So, Corey, lots of glide on there.
Yep.
Which is good. We're going to be talking about that one. So, what's really good about this video is that we actually stitched every single one of these out. Corey stitched.
Thank you. I was about to say, Ryan saw me looking. My head started turning. Who's we?
He stitched every single one of these out. So we have a sample to show you. We're going to show you a sample of every one of these stitched out. And what was funny is that we said, let's pull all the threads that we carry and do this video. And we were like,
I never realized how many threads we actually carry.
We have a lot of brands here.
I started pulling all these threads and I was like, when is this going to be over?
We have tons of brands. So every single row is a different brand. So we're going to talk about them and then we are going to show you how they're stitched out. So, but make sure that you stay tuned to the end because we do have a free giveaway that we're going to be doing.
We do have a giveaway.
But we're not going to tell you until the end.
Whoop, whoop.
All right, Corey, let's just get started on the thread.
Okay, which one are we starting with?
You pick.
Oh, I want to, you just pointed to them.
I know, I just decided.
You said you pick and then you pointed to the one I have to start with. Why did
that's
she
what a
even
mom
give me
does.
options?
I know.
Let's start with King Tut.
Okay.
I'm going to start right here. So King Tut is a 40 weight, which puts it at about a Tex 40, give or take, ish. Which is a real cool thing to talk about real quick since we're at that point, just before we move into it.
Yeah.
When you're in the sewing world, so domestic quilting, you're doing regular piecing, any type of thing like that, when you're looking at threads, most of the time you're looking at weight of thread. But in the quilting world, a lot of companies look at the tex of thread, T-E-X of thread. Texas, woo, tex of thread. And so they go opposite of each other.
Yeah, they do.
So you'll hear us mention weight and tex today. If you have any questions about that, drop them into the comments below. We'll answer them for you. So with King Tut, it's a 40 weight, approximately a 40 tex. Normally that's where like the middle line is, and then they start to go opposite of each other. So you're looking at a 100% Egyptian cotton.
3-ply.
3-ply.
Yeah.
So that Egyptian cotton kind of gives it that reason for it to be a little bit more on the higher side of pricing, because it is that true 100% Egyptian cotton, which is a really nice thing to quilt with.
Yeah, and all of King Tut thread now only comes in variegated.
They have a few solids left.
So they have, there is?
There are a few solids left.
Okay.
Yes.
So there's
Surprise!
a
Happy
couple,
birthday.
most of them are all variegated, so they have really pretty variegations. So yeah, and it's just a really good, easy thread to use. You want to show them the variegation real quick?
Well, I can just pull. Oh, you mean like on camera? Oh, I thought we were going to show it on the quilt.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, that's true.
I was just pulling it out here. You're looking at about an inch variegation, inch change every time the color changes. So you have a good amount of seeing the color before it kind of fades into the next section.
And I can see we already have a question. So kind of the rule of thumb, you know, when we're using the thread is that if it works for your quilt, to use the same color on top as you do in your bobbin. You know, if it works for your quilt, then that just takes away any kind of adjustments or tension issues, things like that.
Well, at least the same thread. You might not have to do the same color all the time. Sometimes it can get a little dicey with tension.
Yeah.
But at least the same type of thread. However,
there's so many new things that have come out too that make it. You can use different things, and we're going to show you how that works. And whether it's the pre-wound bobbins or using the solid threads or the color that you're doing. But yeah, I mean, it still is not. If you use the same color thread on top and bottom, you're always going to have. You won't have any issues because you won't see what's going on because it's the same color. That's what people do.
Yeah, they blend together and they look really nice.
So you don't see anything. But if you're using different color threads on top and bottom, try to stay with the same line of thread, the same kind of thread. And so we'll show you how that kind of looks. So Corey, do you want to show them how the King Tut looks?
Yeah, for sure.
You can go back there if you want to squeeze it back.
Yeah, of course. So let's take a look at the quilt that we have in the back area. And with that quilt, I've just got a regular pattern stitched out, and we are using King Tut on that one. That color is King Tut 901. You'll see that inch variegation. Leaves a really nice, pretty stitch. This is 100% cotton.
Yeah, it's really pretty.
Cotton can sometimes be a little linty, so be prepared for that. You will have to clean out your bobbin case area every time you change the bobbin, because that lint can get a nice buildup. But if you're looking for that true 100% cotton thread for your 100% cotton quilts, that leaves a really nice look.
Okay, let's go on to the next thread.
Yeah, for sure.
So fine.
Tell us a little bit about that one.
So fine is a 50 weight. Again, like you said, we're talking weight and text a few times in here. Most of superior threads are all weight. So it's a 50 weight, 3-ply polyester.
I'm gonna go grab something.
Okay.
Yep, 50 weight, 3-ply polyester.
It's designed for quilting and for sewing. It's a little bit finer thread than like Omni, and especially finer than King Tut. So a lot of times if you wanted it to just kind of blend into that quilt, but you still want that strength of that polyester, so fine's really good. You okay? It comes into what?
They were still looking at the quilt.
Oh, that's good. It comes in 134 colors, and we carry it on the cone. So just like that one right there. So we do now carry all of the colors. We're excited to say that we finally got the full line in because we had so many people asking us. Of course, we're out of some of the basic colors like everybody is right now, but we do carry the full line on our website. So Corey, I'm going to switch it over so you can show them what it looks like.
Yeah, for sure. No, it's not a touchscreen, Mom.
It's not the iPad.
No, this is not my iPad.
Sorry.
There you go.
Okay, so that's the, are you at the sew fine?
Yep.
Okay.
So I'm back here. I'm using sew fine 401 on the quilt. Same pattern. We wanted to use the same pattern across all of these examples so you can see the whole idea of what we're working with here. But leaves a nice, really pretty stitch. Sew fine is used not only for overall quilting, it looks good for stitch in the ditch because it's a little lighter. A lot of people use sew fine for piecing as well because it's a really nice thin thread for piecing.
So if you're using it for piecing, they do recommend a size 12 needle, but if you're using it in the long arm machines, they do recommend a size 16, which is a 3.5. And King Tut is actually recommended to use a 4.0, a size 18, which is the most commonly overall used needle is the 4.0 size 18.
Yeah, manufacturers will have specific requirements. Each machine will have specific requirements, but that size 18, that 4.0, everything that I've quilted out today on our example has all been done with a 4.0 needle.
Yeah, we don't seem to have a problem using just 4-point needle for almost anything.
Almost anything,
but
yeah.
Because there's different machines out there, we're going to give you the manufacturer suggestion, and then your manufacturer will also have probably a suggestion as well. But we find if you stay between that 16 and 18 on almost all these threads, you're going to be fine.
Yep.
Yep. All right. So the next one, Omni. Your turn.
So Omni is, again, a 40 weight. That would be a, so for this one, actually, the way it is done, this is actually a text 30 thread.
Yes.
So it's like I said, weight can sometimes be a little iffy depending on how it is.
Yeah.
But this is a text 30 thread. So this is going to be a little thinner, okay? Just a tad thinner than a text 40. The higher the text, the thicker the thread. Lower the text, the thinner the thread. Opposite of weight. I know it's a little hard to wrap your mind around sometimes. But that's kind of the way that one's done. Omni is a very popular thread.
It is very popular. 100%
Very popular.
polyester. I don't know if you said that.
100% polyester.
Yeah.
Poly-wrapped poly. It's great for quilting. It is designed for quilting.
Yeah.
A lot of people use it for piecing as well. Just depends on kind of what you're looking for. Question popped up, are you using the same stitch size for all the samples? Yes. All the samples are stitched at 12 stitches per inch.
I'm glad you knew that because I didn't. Of
Well,
course you knew
I'm
that.
the one
I
that
did
stitched it out. So, yes,
So
I
Omni
would know.
does have 172 colors. Great
Solid
thread.
colors.
Solid colors. They don't come. Solid colors, 6,000 yards. Great use for quilting. We love to give our new beginners Omni. They don't have any issues. No, hardly any lint. It's just awesome. It's a really good thread. And all these threads are good, but these are just certain things that we've run into since we've been doing this, and I've been doing this since 2001. So lots of knowledge going on here. So we're not going to bore you, but we're just going to give you tons of knowledge. Okay, Corey, do you have that? Okay, I have to figure out how to use your thing now.
Oh, double click on the little picture. There you go. So this is the Omni Solid sample here. Again, same pattern, leaves a really nice pretty stitch. Omni kind of has that faux cotton look. It has a tad, little, very micron bit of sheen to it, but it makes it look really like a nice polished cotton, even though it is a polyester thread. It has a little bit of lint to it, not a whole lot by any means, but there is a tad bit, so be prepared there. Just make sure you're cleaning out that bobbin case area as you should be doing anyway. But Omni, really nice thread, 6,000 yards on that cone.
All right, so our next thread we're going to talk about is Omni Variegated.
Ooh, I was so happy when they came out with the Variegateds.
I know, right? Like it's just...
It was like a whole new world.
Well, it's a whole new world. I had to do that.
Okay, just because it's your birthday doesn't mean you can start being American Idol in here,
know,
okay?
Right?
But thank you for trying out.
Point of view.
Okay, the door's right over there.
All right, seriously though, but Omni Variegated we were wanting a polyester that was variegated, right? Because cotton variegateds do have a tendency to break some, and so we tell you, hey, put a thread lubricant on it, like Ease a Thread, just to kind of keep that frustration away, keep the lint down. It's awesome for that, and we can talk more about that. But when they came out with Omni Variegated, we were like, yes.
Oh, because they had
really
Omni out for a while.
They did. They had Omni out for a while.
And then they were like, variegated. They're so happy.
But what's really nice about it, and because they are both made by Superior, is that a lot of the colors that are in King Tut kind of move over to Omni Variegated.
Yeah.
So there's some
all
really
of their
close
lines blend
some
together.
Yeah, that's really nice.
So like if I like this one color in Omni Variegated 9032, it has a cousin in Fantastico, which I believe is 5032. Don't quote me on that, but I believe that's what it is. But they all work together most of the time. Like you can find this color across most of their lines. That way, if you like a specific thread, you don't have to, give up the color all the
Exactly.
way.
So there's 75 colors, awesome colors. If you have never tried a variegated, definitely try a variegated. They're super pretty on quilts.
Yes, this Omni one will have an inch variegation. You want to go show them what they look like?
Yeah.
An inch variegation as well. Very vibrant, bold, beautiful colors. It looks really, really nice when you're working together with it. And she'll move over a little bit to the right there, and you'll see that one. It looks absolutely beautiful on the quilt. And this is Omni 9032, Omni Variegated, excuse me. I believe it's called Olay, if I'm not mistaken.
And we really wanted to show you all of them stitched out so you could see how it would look, like how each thread would look and blend with your project. So that's why we're showing you each one stitched out. And of course, there's tons and tons of colors, so we just kind of picked one.
Just grabbed what was available out of the cabinet.
Exactly, exactly. So again, really pretty variegations there, like he was talking about. Oh, Corey, what's the next one?
Okay, so next one will be one that's been around for a minute. A lot of people had always asked us to carry it, so we decided to go ahead and start doing that for you. We've been carrying it for quite some time, and this one would be Bottomline. So Bottomline was really designed more for using for applique, English paper piecing, for your bobbin thread, hence the word Bottomline. But it's kind of making a comeback now using it as a quilting thread.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
A lot of people are using that. So Bottomline is a 60 weight thread, so it's a little thinner. Let's see, you're going from so fine, which would be a 50, little back up on the 60 weight, just a tad thinner than so fine.
Yeah.
Leaves a really nice stitch though. Polyester thread.
Yeah.
Great for piecing, applique, quilting, that bobbin. With it being thinner, it fills up that bobbin, so your bobbin's got a lot longer lifespan that way.
And also good, you said piecing, but English paper piecing, it's good for that. So it's really good for that. Lint-free.
Yep.
So that's what's kind of nice about some of the polyesters, is they're totally lint-free. That's awesome. It comes in the 3,000 yard cones is what we carry.
Yes, 3,000 yard cones, always good to have that extra amount. Sometimes you have those little smaller ones. We always try to carry the larger cones.
We do.
Of everything. That way you can keep going.
So Corey, Omni Variegated, Corey has actually used Omni Varied quite a bit, just as you have used King Tut. It's just really a preference. I mean, it depends on if you're looking for more as
Was that a question or a statement?
A cotton or a polyester.
Okay.
Right there, it's right there.
Oh, I guess I should read the screen. So looking for King Tut or Omni Variegated.
Yeah.
It's really a personal preference.
Yeah.
It's really hard to say this thread is so much better. You will never hear me, knock on wood, say all the time that this is the only thing that you can use no matter what.
Yes.
It's not. There are some things I will tell you that, but it's not all of them. Really, when it comes to thread, it's which works best for you. Each machine has their own personality.
Yeah.
What does your machine like?
Yeah.
Like my machine liked every single one of those threads that we're looking at today. Some machines might only like this section or that section. It's whatever you're comfortable with doing.
But I mean, again, it comes for preference too. Like if somebody just wants to use polyester versus cotton, that's when you would use Omni Variegated versus King Tut, or versus Signature, which we'll be talking about, Signature Variegated. And King Tut will have more lint because it's cotton,
Right.
versus Omni Variegated won't. So both really good. And I think we've gotten to the point because we've used the threads so much that we just go pick a color that matches the fabric that we want to use.
I say this one looks good.
Let's use that one, which is why we have so many open. Because Corey decides almost all of them look good.
I mean, I didn't say that, she did. But it's definitely going to be that one. King Tut also has a wider color variety than Omni Variegated does.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for that specific variegated, or even, Fantastico has a wider variegation range. So it's all kind of figuring out which one works best for you.
Yep, exactly.
All right, what are we moving on to next?
All right, so our next one should be Micro Quilter.
Oh, I love Micro Quilter.
So tell them why you love Micro, because we didn't really use Micro Quilter at all, and then just recently, I think over the last year and a half, 2 years almost.
I don't know.
Anyway,
I don't know what day it is.
Corey started using it, and he's like, "Oh, we have to get this," and I'm like, "Yeah, but it's so thin. How are they going to quilt with this? How are the machines going to even use this?" And he's like, "Oh no, it works great." So we did it, and it does. It really does good. So tell them why they would use Micro Quilter and when.
So Micro Quilter is 100 weight thread, so it is super thin. Like it's like super duper thin. You can't even see it. So thin. And so this is amazing for stitch in the ditch. It really just disappears into it, no matter what color you're using. I mean, we've stitched white on black fabric back there, and it almost looks clear.
Yeah.
Like, that's how thin it is. You can use black on white, orange on blue. Like, you can really throw whatever color you want on there, and it'll almost disappear onto that fabric.
Yeah.
Just because it's so thin. Another cool thing about it is if you have appliques and you're wanting to do a dense background quilting, you normally don't want to do that with, let's say, a 40 tex Permacore thread, because that's a really thick thread and it's going to take away from all that beautiful applique work that you have on the quilt. Whereas you using 100 weight micro quilter, you'll get the point across on the quilting, but you will still see all of that beautiful applique work. Even like, Ryan, can you grab the unicorn pillow for me, please?
What would you use in the bobbin when you're using micro quilter?
I personally still use micro quilter in the bobbin.
Do you?
Yeah.
So,
when we did it, thank you.
So any of the threads that we're talking about, though, there are tension adjustments.
Of course, yeah.
And most of the adjustments just need to be made in that bobbin, the bobbin case.
About 99% of the time, it's your bobbin case that you're making those
I think that's
adjustments.
almost with all the long arms, right? Most of the adjustments just have to be made in that bobbin case. So if you have that gauge, that works amazing.
Yeah, your toe attention gauge.
We're going to be showing a video on that later.
Yeah.
Then that really does help make the adjustments there before you even touch anything on the top.
Yeah. I think I've had to touch my top tension like once.
Yeah, we don't.
And then Darren got mad at me, our
you
technician.
Did all these 14 or 15 colors. You never.
I never touched the top tension.
We just made the adjustments.
I made adjustment on the bobbin.
Yeah. Okay, let's show that.
So this, I don't know if you can see it from this distance. I might have to get closer. Yeah, I'm gonna get closer.
That camera right there. Okay.
I'll just walk up a little closer. Just tell me where I'm at. Is that good?
Yeah.
Okay. So all of this background quilting, everything here on this unicorn pillow, this was all done with Omni and Omni Variegated, but I really wanted to put something on the unicorn's face to really accentuate it, but I didn't want to do a thick thread to take away from everything else I had done around it. So this was micro quilter, and it basically disappeared onto the fabric, and I only get to see the beautiful texture that it left. So
yeah,
the idea there.
Yeah.
So
oh, that's good.
I think that's really cool how it works.
So let's go show it back on the back.
Oh,
and then
okay. I will run back there and show it. So micro quilter, we're going to move a little bit. Ooh, don't get dizzy. So micro quilter is going to be right here, okay? And this is a white thread on black fabric. And I know on the camera we've adjusted the contrast a little bit so you can really see the thread and the stitches. But in person here, it almost looks transparent on this quilt. I can see the black right through it. I'm seeing a little bit of the quilting line, and it looks really good. So
did you experience like a lot of thread breakage or any thread breakage when you started using it? I mean, I would imagine because it's thin, does it have some?
I had one thread breakage when I first started it. It's because I had the machine threaded wrong. But other than that, no, I haven't experienced any thread breakage. And I've used micro quilter on an entire quilt before.
So it's just about getting that bobbin case tension adjusted the right way and then doing it that way.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. And on any of the threads that we've talked about so far, is there any special techniques that we do? You know, the little batting tie on the back, or is that just the glide?
Yeah, we're getting there.
Okay, sorry.
It's nothing that we've hit on so far will we need any special techniques just yet. There are a few, but not on this one yet.
Stay back here because I want them to see the next thread, which is the monofilament, and how you don't have to use the monofilament. You can actually just use micro quilter because monofilament has a little. It has a little bit of an attitude sometimes.
Sometimes it does, definitely depending on what you're working with. Now, when Diana talks about monofilament, that is a polyester. You can get a polyester or a nylon version of that. And so it's right here next to, I've put this fabric here next to it so you can see it right next to it. So it is a clear or a black smoke colored thread, depending on which color you get. And it's made just to really do a little bit of quilting on it so you really don't lose the quilt, but you have that quilting there. So I've got a strand of the monopoly by Superior right here, and I'm going to lay it right on top of that. It just disappears right on top of that fabric. So that's there. But if you're hesitant about trying monopoly or monofilament thread, a clear thread when you're quilting, I would suggest giving micro quilter a try. So I'm going to show you, this is a black micro, it's really hard to see, but this is a black micro quilter, and even laying it on this, you can see it a little bit, but it has basically changed color to match the turquoise in the background. Okay?
Yeah, because monofilament does have sometimes a tendency to have some tension issues. It's, you know, it's kind of like a really soft fishing line.
Right.
If you think of it. So I'm going to move you back up here, Corey.
For sure.
So whether it's, you know, the monopoly or monofilament brands from different brands, if it's really like a really thin fishing line type of thread, it's not fishing line, but that's what it feels like. And Darren and Ryan are fishermen. That's the only reason I say that. Know that. And so sometimes it has a tendency to make tension issues, especially if you're jumping from a cotton to that. You do have to make some tension adjustments. So you just have to be aware that going from something that you would be using to an everyday to something like this, you will have to make some tension adjustments even on the top for this one. So again, an alternative would be the micro quilter like Corey was talking about.
Yeah.
It still blends. It's going to keep, it's really thin, so it hides the quilting for you, but a little less maybe issues with it. And micro quilter's not expensive.
Right now, and we're not trying to discourage you from using monopoly by any means. We just want to give you all of the facts and everything that we've run into as well, just so you're prepared for that whenever you decide to take that jump and give that thread a try.
Yeah, and we have customers that's all they use.
Oh yeah,
and
like exclusively, that's all they use on everything.
You set your machine for that and you're good to go.
Right.
It's when you jump from one drastic to another drastic. So anyway, so let's talk about the next thread, which let's talk about Signature. Okay. Signature, A&E, American E for Signature and Permacore have been around for a really long time.
Yeah, they were kind of like one of the OGs.
Yeah, they are.
Of quilting threads. Yep. They kind of were right out the gate first.
They really were.
Don't quote me on that, but I'm gonna go with that.
Well, no, if you remember Linda's video, they actually were at one of the trade shows. I want to say it was Houston or something.
Right.
And they didn't make them on the big cones.
Right. They were only making them
for
tiny ones.
Long arm or
They were for domestic.
So there was nothing really out there, and so they have came up with the cone. So yeah, they were kind of the OGs on that.
Yeah. So this is kind of where their family is going to be on quilting threads. So for Signature, you're seeing it for the ones we carry. You're seeing it in 3 different types. You have 100% cotton, which a lot of people love the Signature and use the 100% cotton Signature. Great thread. It's a Tex 40, so a little thicker.
Yes.
Yeah. And when you're, I guess another thing we should really talk about is when would you want to use a thicker versus a thinner thread?
Yeah.
So for when you're wanting to do some quilting where you're actually going to see the quilting a whole lot, maybe you're doing a whole cloth or you're working with, kind of just blocks per se, just regular 9 patches or something like that, and you really want to see and accentuate the quilting on the quilt, most of the time you're moving to a little bit of a thicker thread so you can really see that quilting.
Yeah.
But if you've got a heavily pieced quilt or a heavily appliqued quilt, you might want to jump down to a little bit of a thinner thread because the quilting is there just to accentuate the beautiful piecing. It's not there to take over and make the eye fight on should I look at the thread or should I look at the piecing.
Exactly.
So that's kind of where you're thinking there. Side note, sorry.
No, that's good.
Squirrel.
That's good to know. No, it's good to know. It's important to know why would I use thicker versus thinner. And you're right. If you're doing whole cloth or you're doing just kind of overall where you really want that quilting to show, it's not going to show with a 100 weight.
No,
you have to use at least 30 or 40 text or the weight, the 50 or 40 weight, to be able to make that happen.
For sure, yeah.
So again,
that's where you'll see
there's just so many. We can actually almost all these lines of threads can be used for something.
Oh no, of course, that's why they're all out. Yeah.
And and it is great for piecing. So
yes, people use Signature for piecing. People throw the Signature in their serger a lot too.
They do in the poly cotton Signature. So that's one that is a 50-50.
Right.
So it's 50% polyester, 50% cotton. Really nice to use for piecing. It has very limited colors, but your grandmother loves it for piecing.
She does.
She does. And so if you're like, I don't want 100% cotton, but I don't want to get rid of cotton, it's a really good choice in between, that 50-50.
Yeah, so Signature has 100% cotton, a cotton poly or a poly cotton, depending on how they say it that day, and then a 100% cotton variegated.
Exactly.
And the variegation on this one, about an inch and a half on the variegation on this one. Sometimes it can vary on that. All beautiful ones. I will take you right back to the back right now. Let's take a look at the way they look.
Yeah, let's do that. And it is called, like you said, 100%. It's long staple cotton thread is what it is.
Yeah.
So we're going to go to the back, and Corey's going to show you the solid cotton first and then the variegated.
So right here we're looking at the Signature 100% cotton. This could give you the same look as the poly cotton. This is beautiful stitching on this one as well. Looks like a nice polished cotton here. This would be the variegated version. So you'll see that variegation, a little inch, inch and a half, maybe 2 inches, depending on the color. And so that kind of gives you that look of how they both look stitched out. I think they look pretty cool. Let's give another pro tip. Oh, I got another pro tip. Let's switch it to the front. I've got so many tips now. You got me going on thread.
Oh, good.
I've got pro tips like crazy.
Well, pro tips are important.
That's what I call them. Pro
Well, I
tips.
mean, we want to make sure that we're giving really good information, and we're hoping that we're really helping. Oh, yes, that's a really good tip.
Yeah. You
I knew it
totally
when
just
you
stopped
grabbed it.
mid-sentence.
I know. When you grabbed it, I was like, yep, that's it.
It's a good tip. It definitely is a good tip.
All right, so let me move you over to that camera.
Yep, for sure.
And
Awesome. All right, so looking at variegateds. So I've got one right here. Uh-oh, am I upside down? Hold on. Let's look at it there. Uh-oh.
it's doing some funny stuff. They get to see our whole thing. All right, so while he's fixing that camera, because we haven't used it yet, he wants to show you the difference with how variegation spools will come. And it's funny, we'll put these two into a package, and the customer will be like, I didn't get the same color thread. So this is important to know that this could happen because it comes this way from the factory. Corey?
Yeah, so this is one version of the Bright's signature variegated. So this is one way it's been spun. This is another version of the Bright's variegated. It's all how the thread gets spun. It's not different colors, it's not different color variations. It just sometimes happens to be the way they end up falling out on the spool. Now, the tip on this is whenever you're looking at variegated threads, always look at them from the top. And that will give you the true variegated idea of what you're really getting on that cone, because the way it gets spun off the cone at the factory, it could look like this, it could look like that, it could look like something completely different than either one of these. We've seen a lot of different things here, but you're always going to look at the top of all your variegated cones to get the true color that you're wanting to see.
Exactly. So again, if you ever get that in the mail from any company, as long as those tops are the same, that variegation's the same.
Yeah.
While we're over here at this camera and we're working on a cotton thread, I actually wanted to show the Easy Thread real quick.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I actually have to put this, I don't have to. I choose to put this on every cotton thread just because I don't want a lot of lint.
For sure.
I don't want to clean a lot of that bobbin stuff out, and it helps with the breakage as well.
Yeah.
So we've had this question's been asked to us a lot. And it's a product that we actually carry in bottle and everything here. It's called Easy Thread. And it stops the thread breakage, the lint buildup. It just improves the whole life of the stitch.
Yeah.
So this is how easy it is to put on. And it's not expensive. You just kind of douse it like that. And then once it's doused, let it sit for about 10 minutes. Then wind your bobbins. And then in the middle, like say you have a full cone and you get like halfway through, you might have to put a little bit on if you waited a few more days. But this just really does help take care of that. And it doesn't leave a residue behind.
Doesn't leave a residue, it doesn't gunk up your needle.
No, it's perfect.
It doesn't gunk up the thread guides, it doesn't do anything of that nature.
It just takes the stress out of if you have a little bit of breakage on your cotton threads.
Yeah.
It just helps that, or if you just, you know, oh man, that lint is getting to me.
Yeah, I mean, when you're looking at cotton threads, you're looking at cotton being a natural fiber.
It is.
So it's going to naturally dry out over time. That's just how it is.
Yeah.
So getting that Easy Thread or or lubricant, whatever you need for it, gets that moisture back into the thread and allows it to perform at its highest potential.
And if you don't want to put anything on it, you just like cotton to be 100% natural, nothing. Just open the cone, throw it in the freezer, let it freeze overnight, take it back out, let it thaw out. It kind of gives the same.
It sounds
theory.
crazy, but it really works.
It works. It takes longer than just throwing that on there, but you know, if you just want to do 100% natural, just throw it in there. It really does make a difference, and it really does help out.
Yep.
So, okay.
So that was
what's our next
signature.
thread?
Let's look at Permacore.
Okay. So Permacore. So let's talk about the first. I know it's like breathe.
So much information. I know.
There is. Okay. So American and Eford came out with Permacore again around the same time as Signature. It was used as more of a commercial production. It was more of a commercial thread to like put those comforters together, you know, the things that we see at stores, even in a garment production. So for the first couple decades probably, but mainly years, of quilting, long arm quilting, when it was started, you only really saw just a couple brands of threads, and Permacore was one of them. So a lot of people you'll still see have Permacore out there. Not that they don't like the other brands, this is what they started on, this is what they're used to. So it comes in a 40 text, and it also comes in a 30 text. Again, the difference is text here because it was considered a commercial product. Okay, so, and that's kind of where you get the text and weight from. Is text is more of a commercial application, is what it's called. So that's where, anyway. So you know what you have because it has a green cone.
Yes.
So the green cone means 40 text. So if you happen to get gifted some threads, or you just found these in your closet, or
yeah,
you know, just know that the green cones are 40, the black cones are 30 text. Both good threads. The 30 text obviously is going to sew in a little bit thinner. So with that, they decided to touch more of the quilter industry, and they came out with Quilters Edition Permacore. So Quilters Edition Permacore has a black cone. So what is that?
It's going to be a 30 text.
It's 30 text, right? So they kind of keep it similar. So you have Quilters Edition Permacore, which only comes in about 54 colors. And then you have 30 text Permacore, which comes in hundreds, but we only carry about 75 colors because we just can't carry all of them. So, but the one thing you need to know is that this, what color is this? Silver is not going to be the same silver in Permacore. They are a little bit different in color, even though they're kind of the same thread. The natural, Permacore can have 5 naturals, but it's only one of those naturals that got moved into Quilters Edition. Well, that's kind of just knowledge, right?
Yes, I'm keeping up.
Keeping up?
I'm trying to keep up with this and that at the same time. Making sure we're
all right. So they came out again with a smaller application. So if you didn't want to buy a huge 6,000 yard cone, you could get a 3,000 yard cone, 54 different colors. Very cost effective. I mean, I think ours is like $6.99, something like that.
Something like that.
Really good price, 36. So if you haven't tried it, it's worth a try.
We had a question pop up in the comments feeds. When you're bringing your quilt top into a quilt store, how do, like, basically most companies or most stores, we'll take ours for example, use when it comes to auditioning threads on the quilt? So most, well, I can say for us, I don't know how most stores do it, but about half of our threads are already pre-opened. So you can kind of lay that thread color out on the quilt, take a look at it, see how it's going to stitch in. Other than that, most of them are going to be wrapped in a wrapper already on the cone. But you still get the idea. We have quilted samples around that see what it looks like on black, what it looks like on white. You kind of have that idea. We have thread cards around that have the actual threads in them, so you can kind of maneuver that to lay that on the quilt.
Yeah, if you have the option to get a thread card from a brand you really like that has the actual thread on there, get the thread card, because it's going to show you exactly what that color is going to look like, so you can go put it on like he's talking about. Ryan, grab me an Omni thread card. So he's going to show you how it can literally put it next to that fabric and you can match it compared to trying to go off of a piece of paper. So, you know, yeah, they cost $15, $20, it depends on the thing.
Thanks, Ryan. He doesn't want to be on the camera.
But it's definitely worth it when you're trying to figure out that perfect color. Because remember, everything on the computer screen does not look like the actual colors.
Depending on what resolution you have, if you have your RGB settings switched, if you can go all
it can
day
be all
long.
kinds of things.
So these have the actual threads. I can feel them. I can get a look for them. Whenever you buy them and these become yours, you can actually take these off of the paper for certain thread charts. Make sure you know what strip they are. But that way you can lay it on the quilt and take an actual look and see what those color choices would be.
Yeah, so it definitely, why don't you show a close-up real quick?
Oh, okay.
Well, just something, this is just one. There's lots of different thread charts. There we go. Lots of different thread charts that you can use, with just an idea that it is actual real thread. It gives you the variations on those. If it's a solid color, it's going to have the solid ones. But it's just nice to have that reference. Then you can just kind of put which ones you have. So if you go into a store, you go, I already have those, and you know what you have at home. So it's really cool, nice reference. And what I was going to say, oh, there was something when you were talking that I was going to say.
She is just going.
I love talking about thread and all the different things that they have to offer. It's just it's fun. There's just so many different varieties out there that you can use.
For sure.
Okay, it'll come back to me, I know. All right, why don't we show it sewed out, the Permacore?
Okay, yeah. And why I talk about that, you want to read through messages to make sure we are still on par with that?
Okay.
Uh-oh. I need to... I miss Summer being here right
I
now.
know.
I'm not clicking through. There it goes. It's weird. Okay. So let's look at Permacore. So I'm going to slowly move over here. Permacore is going to be this one right here. This is the Permacore 40 Tex. Still looks nice. You can tell it's a little bit thicker, more dramatic on this black, really more bold in your face, which is the point of having a thicker thread. But a really nice stitch out. Looks really, really good. This is going to be the natural. Is this natural or dyed natural?
It's the dyed natural.
The dyed natural on this black. Almost kind of has a white look to it, but really, really nice. Looks absolutely beautiful on what we're going with here.
You know, this might be a good time to talk about what we actually put in the bobbin. We have a lot of people saying they use like super bobs in the bobbin. We don't carry those right now, but we do have the Magna Glide. Because we haven't talked about Glide yet, so we haven't talked about bobbins.
That was.
I know, but since we're done with Permacore, let's jump on to Glide.
Okay. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
You go ahead.
No, Glide's your favorite. So
Glide is, yeah, that's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
So with Glide, Glide is going to be 100% polyester. It is like a Tex 27, so it's a little thinner than a Tex 30, like an Omni, so it's a little thinner than that. On our cones that we sell here, you're getting 5,500 yards on the cone. And if you cannot find the color that you need for your quilt in Glide, I'm sorry, it's not available then. They don't make it.
They have
Glide has
so many colors.
So many colors. Yeah, let's show them the thread wall of Glide. I'm going to take this camera over here real quick and just hover it over there.
Oh, I know. There's so
take a
much.
look. There are a plethora of, I love that word, of colors in Glide.
And we do have most of the thread cards available in some of these, in these lines. They're just out of stock. So if you are looking for a certain thread color, just wait. We will have it back in stock, or thread card. All right, Corey, you're on.
So you can see I've got 3 big shelves of Glide here. There are tons and tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of colors throughout this whole family. And this is the solid line. They also have a variegated line that hopefully we will be looking at getting soon. Wink, wink, hint, hint, nudge, nudge.
You.
But they've got plenty of colors to choose from, and it stitches out absolutely beautifully. And this is what we use on After Hours most of the time.
I think you should just do the Thread Hall of Fame walk. We have some. You just do it while you're over there, and then we'll come back to talking more about it.
Okay. So right here you're looking at Permacore Quilters Edition, Micro Quilter, all the different colors that it is offered in. We are looking at Fantastica, which we haven't talked about yet. That will be next after Glide. So plenty of variegated, shiny options there. This would be your signature wall all the way down. So signature has a lot of solids and a lot of variegateds. These were those stitched out samples I was mentioning. You'll see a bunch of different ones. So this is all quilted out on black. You flip it over, it's on white, but this is all their variegateds quilted out, so you have that idea. And then Magna Glides, Dianna just talked about that. So the pre-wound bobbins, I'll show you that over at the machine. Pima thread, which we are getting to that. Permacore, Omni, King Tut, more Permacore. So much thread. So much thread to choose from. I love it when people that have not been to our shop before walk in and the mouth basically just drop because there's so much thread to choose from. Just like that.
All right. You caught me in the middle of eating the cookie.
I was like, what is she doing? Caught her in the middle of the snack. Okay. Let's take, I'm going to take this back there. We're going to talk about the Glide thread a little bit more in depth and the Magna Glide bobbins.
Okay, yeah.
So I'm going to run back
into
the back.
So the cones we have are what, they're 5,500 yards, you said?
5,500 yards, yep.
Okay.
So plenty of thread to choose from. I do have my thread of choice. I'm sure y'all know it if you've seen a few of my bone. There it is.
Well, it goes with everything. How can you not?
It really does. This is not bone. This is a bright yellow. But bone 17443. I don't even know how to describe it. It's just that gray that works with everything. I use this on almost every quilt I use now, and every quilt I do.
Well, it just blends so well.
It looks absolutely
stunning. So it has,
stunning.
like you said, the Tex 27, so it's kind of falling in, blending in.
Yeah, it looks great.
Yeah.
And so it is really, it absorbs the color of what's around it, so it makes it look really, really nice and makes it populate really, really well.
And what's nice about the Glide is it has that sheen.
Yes.
So it's also really good for embroidery machines.
A lot of people use it for embroidery as
A lot
well.
of people come in here and buy it for their embroidery machines.
Yeah, so it looks really nice.
Yep.
These are the Magna Glide bobbins that we were talking about. They have this little black piece on one side, and that's what goes inside of your bobbin case. And it magnetizes to the inside of the bobbin case to keep a nice, even, consistent tension. You will have to take out your no backlash spring when you use this. So if you like to use these pre-wound bobbins, the Magna Glides, we recommend having a separate bobbin case for that. That way you don't have to keep pulling in and out that spring and risk damaging it.
Yeah, the sheens are really pretty on that. So we had a good question up here.
What is the question?
When you use polyester thread for quilting, does it need special care?
Not that I've seen, no.
No.
I still care it and care the quilt just the same way,
Yeah.
launder the quilt the same way.
Yeah.
I don't have an issue with heat in the dryer or anything like that if you decide to dry the quilt or if you hand dry it or however you decide to do it. But
Yeah, at least on
No
the
problem.
stuff that we sell. I
Correct.
can't speak for anything that might be sold somewhere else, but all the threads that we carry are all threads that we've tested. We know work good in machines. We know that they are not going to have huge issues, that they're really made from really good quality companies. So, I mean, that's why we don't have every brand out there at this point, because this is a line that we've personally tested, and all these we know are going to work great in these long arms and
Yes.
sit downs and for embroidery.
and
I'm surprised
domestic
how
sewing
many people
machines.
come and get it for
A lot of people
embroidery.
get that for embroidery.
Yeah, and for the domestic sit downs, yeah.
Yeah. Question: does it work with a Bernina long arm? The Glide does. I have personally used it on a Bernina long arm. Stunning.
Yeah.
Works great.
Yep.
Not a problem.
Okay, so let's go back to Fantastico.
Yeah, so since we're talking about
skipped you.
sheen, let's talk about Fantastico.
Yeah.
So Fantastico is a, what are we looking at size-wise here? This is about a Tex 30, give or take 40 weight. Tex 30,
Yeah,
30-ish.
that's a 40 weight. So
Yeah, about 30. It is going to be 100% polyester, like I said.
it's a trilobal polyester.
Trilobal, that's a good one.
Yeah.
So you're looking at 3 strands that are wrapped together to make what you see here, which makes it a really nice strong thread as
Yeah.
well. This one is going to be about an inch in variegation.
Yeah.
Okay. It looks really nice, has that nice sheen to it, stitches out really nice.
Yeah, 2,000 yard spool,
Oop, yep,
1 inch interval. I think you said
yep,
that right.
1 inch
color.
variegation, yep.
Great for quilting
Mm-hmm.
and embroidery as well. And it has a lot to do with the fact that it's the sheen.
Yeah.
So let's go. Why don't you go check it out back there?
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, let me go.
Oh, there it goes, it's back,
Alrighty.
actually. Hold on just 1 second. Let me take a look.
Alrighty.
Let's see, having those lovely network issues right now.
So while he's trying to get that camera up and going for you, I'm going to come back up here and see if we have any questions.
Okay, I'm ready.
Are you ready? Oh,
Yep.
that was fast. I didn't even get to answer any questions.
Oh, well, okay.
All right, that's okay. Corey, you got it.
So this one's going to be your Fantastico. Has that nice little sheen right next here to Glide. Beautiful variegation that you're looking at here. Very color fast, so it's nice and vivid, nice and bright. I love the way it stitches. Like I said, I'm a fan of Glides. I'm also a really big fan of Fantastico. I think it looks really, really cool all together. That's what I got.
All right, so do you know if the pre-wound bobbins work good in the Bernina? I'm not sure if we've tried that.
I have not personally tried that, so I cannot tell you either way. I don't see why it wouldn't, but I
just-
have not personally tried
Yeah,
it,
would
so I
just
can't give you
maybe
like
ask
the
your
stamp.
dealer on that just to make sure, or just give it a shot and try it, but you can definitely ask them. Let's see. Well, a question about Omni, back to Omni. And so Omni has very low lint.
It's very low. It's going to have a little bit. I'm not going to tell you it has
No lint.
absolutely,
Yeah.
you know,
It
no
just
lint,
has a
but it
very
has a
low lint.
very low amount of lint.
I think what you find is that unless it's made out of this sheeny stuff, like the Glide and the Fantastico, it's going to have some type of lint.
It's going to have some type.
Yeah, some type of lint. So, but Omni does have really low lint compared to,
Very,
say,
very low.
cotton threads, things like that.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, so, okay, so what's next? This is
I
exciting.
want to look at,
I think we have these 3 left
oh,
over
we have
here.
those 3, yeah. I want to take a jump to metallics.
Okay, go for it.
Oh. So Superior makes a line of metallics. We carry 4 of the colors. This is going to be the rose gold. This is one that we carry. I really, really like this. I kind of just went and ordered it without her permission. Oh well, oh, it works. So it works really, really well. This is a 40 weight metallic, so it's nice and thin. It's designed for embroidery, but it's also really good for quilting with a few little tricks.
Yeah, and he's going to show you those tricks.
Yes.
Are you going to show them
yes,
the tricks?
I will show a few little tricks. I'm sorry, I was like, yeah, I think yes, I will. So you'll have a few little tricks on this to make it work really, really well.
Yep.
Size needle that I used quilting on this was a 4.0 or a size 18.
Yep.
You'll see some recommendations to use a much larger needle and to bypass one of the tension assemblies on your machine. You can do that. Another trick that I found for using that is still going through all of those same assemblies, but we'll take a look at what I use when I'm quilting this out.
Yeah, let's go see that because I'm curious about that one too.
Okay. So I'll swap over to the quilting of it, and then we'll look at what I did on the back of the machine to actually get it to quilt really nice. So over here on the quilting side, this is a metallic thread. This is a rose gold metallic, which looks really, really nice and really, really pretty. And so you can see that leaves a nice, beautiful stitch on this quilt. Works really, really well when you have that little trick that you have, but it gives it that nice little shiny, really shiny metallic look. Great for Christmas quilts when you're really trying to accentuate that gold on the quilt. Looks really, really nice, or the silver. It overall just looks absolutely beautiful and absolutely stunning. Okay,
I'm turning you. You got your walkabout on.
All right, so now I'm over here on my machine, and I will need one of my metallic threads, please. She's got the rose gold demo over there on the table.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take that from her, and I think I'll have her switch with me as well for holding the camera. Yeah, this is just a little sample. It comes in a larger cone that we have. Definitely a little sample. So what I'm going to take is I have a small spool rod on my machine to use that cone. Okay, and like I said, this is just a sample cone. Has a different one for quilting.
So whether you use a small spool rod or you might have a double spool holder on top of your machine, same theory. Okay,
same theory. So it's going to sit on here. You'll thread it through the machine like normal. And the best way that I've found when I'm using a metallic thread is I have to give it plenty of slack to keep it from having any type of breakage. And by slack, I mean plenty of slack laying there, and so it goes up into the machine on its own, at its own rate, at its own capacity. Nothing's pulling it or holding it, and I have absolutely beautiful results with it.
Well, and that's what we had a question. It's like, don't you get a lot of thread breakage? And
I did before.
And then that's when you came
before I started coming and playing with this. So there's got to be a way that I can use this and benefit from it because it looks absolutely beautiful. But I'll have it going through its normal tension assemblies, and I'll just come back here every now and then and just give it plenty of slack. Make sure that it doesn't go up under here and get caught in, because that'll cause it to pop and break. But just holding it, plenty of slack, it's going to travel through those guides. Absolutely beautiful.
Okay.
And look great. So I'll just give you another look at that up close, nice and shiny. Like I said, this is just a sample cone, but really, really shiny. Looks really, really good when it's quilted out.
Alrighty.
Cool.
All right, so now that we've done the metallic, let's see, we are getting down to the wire here.
I know, we've got so much.
I know. All right, so let's talk about Pima. It is so new out to the market.
Fresh to the market.
Fresh to the market,
fresh to the market.
So in fact, it's really hard. Well, it's not hard. It's getting out there more and more to stores, but since it's so new, not a lot of stores had it yet, but it's an awesome thread.
Yep.
Like, you see this small cone and you think, oh, that's not a lot of thread. Like, how many yards do you think is on here? Right? 1,200 yards on that thing.
Little tiny.
I know, and it's so small, so you would not think that that would have 1,200 yards. But it does, and I mean, Corey did a whole quilt with just one of those. Remember when you, that quilt?
Oh yeah, I did my sampler quilt with this, yeah. Yes. So this is going to be a 50 weight.
Yep.
This is going to be a Pima cotton. That's why it's the name of it. That's why it's called that. Comes in a wide variety of colors.
Yeah.
Wide variety of colors, over about 50 colors.
Yeah.
It stitches really, really nice. Now this one looks like a nice, if you've ever seen like a really nice sateen fabric, has that nice polished look to it. That's what Pima is going to bring to you.
Yeah.
A really nice, beautiful look for the quilting. Also great for stitch in the ditch because it's a little thinner. So when I did a sampler quilt for one of the classes that I teach with my friend Joanne, shout out, we did the quilting in this and then also the stitch in the ditch. So everything was cohesive, everything looked really nice, but it gives it a nice, beautiful look.
Yeah. All right, so let's go back and show how that looks stitched out, and then we'll come back and answer questions.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
So I will run back.
Start thinking of all your questions. You guys have been asking some great ones, and we were going to go back and look at some of them and answer them. He's going to show you this Pima, and then we'll go from there.
All right, so this is going to be the Pima cotton. This nice orange on the black looks really good for Halloween coming up. We can't believe it's almost October. I know it's August, but I'm hoping that fall will be here sooner rather than later because it's really hot here. But looks really nice on here. Like I said, has that nice polished look. This is on a sateen fabric, and they blend really, really well together. Stitches out really, really nice and just looks stunning. Absolutely stunning. Absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, and it's grown in, it's American grown cotton.
Yes.
That's what it's made of. So it's really, really pretty. Okay, so let's go and answer some questions. It's already 8 o'clock. We kept you guys so much longer than we normally do.
Is it really already 8?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
We were just having so much fun talking about this that we lost track of time.
Oh, yeah, real quick. Last but not least, 4 questions.
Oh, yes.
Also, Nightlight, we don't have this one stitched out.
Yep.
Because it's just, I don't know.
Because we didn't
We
we
have an open one, but we couldn't turn off the lights and for you to be able to see it.
Yeah, that's true.
So Nightlight is a glow-in-the-dark thread. It has to be charged up.
Yep.
So it has to be, in sunlight or in direct light to charge, and it glows a green color.
Yeah.
Stitches in really nice. We've done a ton of quilts with it. It's really cool for baby quilts, things in sashings, little things like that.
Yeah, and the idea
really
is to use
cute.
it more for an accent, not to do the whole quilt in it.
I mean, I've done the whole quilt and it looks kind of cool. If you do like a space quilt in that, it glows at night. It's cool.
Yeah.
Just saying.
But I mean, and after a charge, it does have a 6-hour glow, so it's pretty cool. So if you have like little quilts, especially with Halloween coming up soon, you want to put little like a spider web or that accent of a ghost or something. It's pretty cool to do it like that.
Yeah, so really nice on little panels or on the overall quilt as well. Looks absolutely beautiful.
Yeah. All right. So we have talked about tons and tons of different things tonight.
So much thread.
Hopefully we didn't like blow your mind.
I know. I hope we did.
And
hopefully it
think
didn't bore you.
Well, hopefully it didn't bore you. And we probably left out a lot of tips, and I'm so glad that people are giving ideas and tips within the video. That's awesome. But Corey, so we did have some questions. So we're going to jump right back to the metallic real quick.
Okay.
So if you're hand guiding a machine and using metallic, obviously you can't be back there giving it slack.
Right.
So where that would be helpful is if you have a double spool holder on top of your machine, a single rod on the back like that, and when you're going through, if you can skip like your intermittent tension, you just skip that area so there's not so much tension pulling on it, and loosen your tension just a little bit, you'll probably be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of a thread you play with. It's not the idea.
You have to play with it. You can't just get it off the rack and
yeah. The
do a
idea
quilt
is
the
not
next
to
day.
do a whole quilt in it the next day. You do play with it just like some of the other specialty threads, and once you have that technique, you can just do so much with it.
It looks
you
really,
really
really
can.
nice. Yeah.
Yep. So let's see.
Do we sell the cotton sateen fabric? Yes, we do. We sell it by the yard. We also sell it by the bolt.
We do. Yeah. So if you don't know much about the fabric, definitely check that out. We love cotton sateen, so it's so pretty. Let's see what else. So we don't normally have sales on the glow-in-the-dark thread because it's really hard for us to get to sell to you. But if we ever get that opportunity, we would definitely do that for you.
Fantastico, is it just variegated, not solid? Fantastico only comes in variegated.
Yep, it only comes in variegated.
That's going to be that line for them. It's only going to be a variegated thread.
Yep. In the meantime, if you come up with questions that you think about after you've watched the video, please put it in the feed. It'll pop back up in about 20 minutes after we close it off, and you can actually ask questions. We will get in there and we will answer those questions for you. We really have a passion for thread. People come in here from all over, and we sit here and we talk thread. We show them the threads, don't we? We sit there, we bring them all out, we talk thread, we show them what would look great. They bring their quilt tops in here, we lay the threads on, show them how it's going to blend in. Side note, it's important to know that your thread will sew in lighter than the way it looks.
Yeah, just a hair lighter.
Just a little bit
pro
lighter.
Tip there. Good pro tip.
So if you're looking for something and it's right dead on and you think, oh, that next one might be too dark, remember it does sew in just a little bit lighter.
Yeah, because when you're looking at thread, it's all compacted right on top of each other, so you're getting a much bolder look of the true color. But when you pull it away, you're like, oh, I see. Yeah. So it does sew in a tad bit lighter. Yep. So just be prepared for that. That's just a regular tip all the way around.
Yeah. So yay, though, there was just so much. Okay, so we promised you a giveaway thing type of thing at the end.
Wait, hold on. We have a really good question. We've actually never brought this up.
Oh.
Someone asked, where are we at?
So we are in the great state of Texas.
I thought you forgot where we were at for a second.
In the city of McKinney.
Yep.
So we actually live here in McKinney, Texas. Our storefront is in McKinney, Texas. It's just north of Dallas. We're right off of a highway, Highway 75, if you've ever been in this area. So we have a lot of people that come from all over.
All over the place, all over the world.
Yeah, and stop and say hi when they're coming through Dallas. They make a trip up here. You know, we're open Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 to the public, and then also open on Saturday from 10 to 3. Corey and I are mostly here Monday through Friday. We're not here that often on Saturdays. We do have to have some downtime to get some stuff done, so we're not in the store usually on Saturday.
Downtime? What is downtime? I don't know what downtime is.
You'll probably see us up here, but not, you know, we're hiding trying to get work done.
Oh, so much stuff to do.
But anyway, but yeah, so here in our address is on our website, and if you're in the area or coming through, definitely
please swing
come
by and see us. Yes.
Yeah, we would love to chat and see the different things you have.
Okay, so that was side note. But anyway, okay, here we go.
So all of our threads can be found where?
All of our threads can be found on our website, www.longarmsupplies.net.
Yay! And so, okay, so what we have is a special for you, because since it's my birthday today, I decided I wanted to kind of give a gift to you guys. But my challenge to you for my birthday, so do it for me, is to look outside the box. Go outside the box. Go pick one of these threads. It can just be one. Go online, pick one that you want to try. Just get one to try to see how you like it. Something you've always wanted to try, but you're like, I'm not sure. Go try it, get it. And while you're there, and this is only exclusive for people that are watching.
Only exclusive to our after hours people.
Yes, go into the little search bar, put after hours free product, and you will get a cone of sample thread. All you have to do is add it to your shopping cart. Doesn't cost you a
$0
dime.
fee. This has to be added to your shopping cart.
You have to add it to your shopping cart though.
Yep.
It's a limited supply. You see, this is all we have. There's 40 of them here. They are just for you guys that are watching, and it'll stay that way until they're gone. So even if you're not watching this live, it's okay. They still might be there.
Yep.
So go on there, even if you just get one thing, or if you have multiple items you want to get, grab that. But make sure you do after hours free product.
Or just in the search bar, just type in after hours, 2 words. It'll pop up for you.
Did it pop up? Okay.
Yeah, it'll pop up just with after hours.
Yeah,
but it is not something that you can find unless you search for it.
Yeah, it's not
so
in any
it's
category
exclusive
because we
just
want
to
to
y'all.
make this just for you guys.
Yep.
So it's $0, add it to the cart.
And we've got, there's test cones of So Fine, Fantastico, King Tut.
Omni.
You're just gonna say, we're gonna say it together? Are we working on like
That
this
was
little chorus
good.
thing here?
Yeah, so all those different things.
All sorts of different test cones, sample cones for you.
Yeah.
And Permacore as well. We have some highlighted like this color, Permacore.
Oh, so we might have more than 40.
We do have more than 40. I forgot to tell you there's a box in my office.
Okay, so we'll have like 50. So we'll have some Permacore in there too.
Yep.
So hey, just do that anytime, whether it's now or in the next. It's just while it lasts.
Yep, while it lasts, just for y'all.
Doesn't cost you anything. Okay, alrighty. So we're done.
I guess
oh my
that's
gosh,
it.
we kept them a long time tonight. Oh,
Yeah, it was a lot of information.
it was.
Yeah, we hope you enjoyed tonight's little presentation, learning a little bit more about all the different threads that we carry, and hopefully some of these threads are already in your thread cabinet.
Yeah.
So you can say, I see, this is how I need to use this one, or oh, this will work good with this, or that's a little bit more info about that thread, how I wanted to use it.
And if we didn't answer a question about a thread that we have here that you really want to know, just put the question in there. We will get to those answers, and we'll definitely get you the proper answer for that.
Yes.
Yep.
Awesome.
Or call us.
Or call us, give us a call.
So.
We talk all the time on the phone, so we're good there.
Oh, yes. Alrighty. Yay!
Well, thank you all so much for joining us. Again, happy birthday, Dianna.
Thank
Another
you,
great
thank
day.
you.
Take all you
Yay.
can. Tomorrow, it's back to the grind.
I know, right? Back to the grind.
Alrighty. Well, we really appreciate all of you here watching us with After Hours LEQ. We'll see you next time, next Thursday, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.